growing and healing, for love and transformations, for understanding and peace. I'm coming to you this morning just to see if you're interested in jumping on this train thought. I am in a part of my journey where I feel as though as I am growing, it seems like I am realizing how many people choose not to do so. As hard as I can work on my skills, or as hard as we as the mental health community, the people that are in tune with our emotions, or have given ourselves that space to love ourselves enough to figure out how our emotions work and what our emotions cause us to do. And in this journey of processing, when you come to a point in your life when you're observing, the beauty of observing, with observation comes knowledge. I think a lot of times it's why most of us working class, whether you're running your own business or working for the man or the woman, or constant hustle, bustle, that you don't make enough time for yourself to just sit down. I'm not talking about sitting down with your phone or sitting down watching a movie or TV. All of those things are nice too, I believe, with balance, with boundaries and limitations. But if we're talking about healing, which is what this train is about, this train thought about how can I heal myself? How can I take accountability for me? How can I learn my behaviors and what I allow in my life and what I don't allow in my life? How can I be a better me? Just to be a better me. Because if I'm a better me, then I can be a better mom, I can be a better wife, I can be a better friend, I can be a better daughter or son or cousin or nephew or teacher or mentor or whatever hat you wear. Because don't we all wear so many hats throughout the day? We wear so many hats throughout the day, and there are so many expectations of this go, 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 and you're never supposed to be exhausted. You're never supposed to get tired. You're never supposed to be snappy. You're never supposed to get irritated. But it's not about that, is it? It's not about meeting the expectations of other people. It is about learning how to recognize these behaviors, these thoughts, these actions, the way we speak to other people. It's about recognizing those behaviors within ourselves first. Not what everybody else said and what everybody else did. But when I sit back and I observe, I take some time to myself. I'm going to go in the bathroom, lock the door, whoever can lock the door, because I know how hard it is for us moms to go to the bathroom, whether the door is locked or not, and have 10 minutes of free peace time. I know. Find a space for you. Moms, dads, brothers, sisters, uncles, nieces, cousins, whoever you are, find a space for you, even if it's sitting in your car. I have someone very close to me that loves sitting in their car, and that is peace for them. Find your haven. Find your space where you can go and you feel safe. Safe to feel, safe to not feel, safe to cry, safe to scream, or safe to just sit and observe. Take a deep breath. This is what I do. I take a deep breath. I find my space. I have a few of them. I've got my closet. I love being in my closet because my closet has a window right over a balcony. And if I want to, I can let the sunlight in or close it out and be in the dark. I have my balcony, which I love. I love my balcony because I get to people watch. I feel safe because I'm in my home. I'm up at the top of the house, so even though I'm outside, it's getting me outside. First off, let's recognize that when you observe, you want to be in a space where you feel safe. At least initially while you're practicing. Because it is going to take practice. It was very, very uncomfortable for me initially to just sit. And I know that has a lot to do with my anxiety. It's hard for me to just sit, in general, to just sit. So it is going to be a challenge. But that's fine, because with challenges come growth, right? So why not? So start small, okay? Find somewhere you feel safe. If it's in your backyard or on your porch, tell your family or your friends or whoever you need to tell. Tell yourself as well. Set the rules. We're going to take this time to just sit and see what happens. Notice what you notice. Are there thoughts coming up? Are you ruminating? Thinking about the same thing over and over and over again? Dissect what you're thinking about. How did it make me feel? What happened the other day? Why did I respond that way? Okay, so what is it about what this person said that caused such a reaction? What was my reaction? Am I proud of that reaction? Is that a reaction that I would like to change in the future because I would prefer to not react that way? Or was I okay with it? Are there things about the way that I have responded or behaved or maybe even clapped back that I feel like I could have done a better job? And not saying that and beating yourself up, because y'all, I know how easy that is, okay? I know how easy it is to go straight to start beating yourself up. Do not jump on that train. Do not jump on the train to beating yourself up. This is not what observing is about. When you observe and you're sitting here breaking things down or just seeing how you feel, just noticing. You don't have to even, I don't even think you need to focus on analyzing things, because that's a completely different thing. You can't observe and describe at the same time. So when you observe, you're just sitting, watching the things go by, watching the thoughts go by, tuning in and feeling the feelings that arise within your body when you think certain thoughts or when you see certain thoughts. Imagine them as leaves on a stream. Every thought that comes to your mind, imagine writing it down, or imagine blowing it into a bubble and it's floating off into the air. Imagine that you're writing it on a rock and tossing it in the water. Not to just ignore it or avoid it. That's not what this is about. This is about noticing what's going on with me, what's going on in my mind, what's going on in my body. How do I feel? How do I want to feel? How don't I want to feel? And a lot of this too, I have so much prayer. For me, my method, when I sit and I observe, before I even do so, I'm talking to the Lord and, to the angels, and just, I'm asking God, the Creator, like, help me to be gentle with myself, Holy Spirit. Because the Holy Spirit, risen on the third day, when he came out, the Holy Spirit is here to show us grace and mercy. He wants us to have compassion on ourselves. He doesn't want us to think about the things that we feel like, oh, I did that wrong, I shouldn't have responded like that. He doesn't want us beating ourselves up. Okay, yes, you may have responded to something inappropriately or in a way that you would have preferred to respond differently, but you didn't. But guess what? We are human, and it's not okay, but let me find a way that I can either rectify the situation, remedy the situation, or even create some understanding in the other party, or whatever the situation is, but with love, with gentleness, with, all right, it's okay, a mistake was made. Because we don't shun mistakes, right? Not when we're growing. Y'all, we do not shun mistakes when we're growing. When we are growing, we love our mistakes. We need to love our mistakes, because it is our mistakes that teach us how to be better. It is when we fall that we know you can't get any lower, so I might as well stand up. Unless you want to lay there, that is a choice too, and that choice would be your own. But if that was the choice, then I would assume you wouldn't be on this podcast listening to me. So you're choosing to stand up. We have to choose at some point to stand up and know that we're strong. Know that we're strong enough. It takes courage to sit and reflect. Do you know that? I learned that recently. I think it was about 2 weeks ago, when I felt like I was in a position in my growth, in my journey, on my path, where I was reflecting on so many things. I mean, from childhood all the way up to now. And not in a judgmental way. Not in a hard, oh, that was dumb, why'd I do that? No, just sitting there observing, remembering, noticing what came up, noticing what thoughts came behind that, noticing, feeling, smelling, tasting, whatever sensations arose with those thoughts, noticing if those thoughts caused my heart to beat faster or if it caused me to stop breathing for a second, noticing when one of my thoughts has given me anxiety. Noticing these things, because when we can start picking these things out and recognizing them for what they are, then we can start slowly dissecting them and describing each one and how this one particular thing made me feel. And let me go back to this situation. And this is why I say it takes courage, because you do end up being in a space to where, okay, now that I see the big picture, I'm tracking, right? For my soldiers, I'm tracking, I'm following you. I see my timeline, and I remember these experiences, especially the ones that stand out to us, right? The traumas, the griefs, the heartaches, the pains. Those are the things that stand out. Of course, you have your wonderful moments, right? Your first child, second, third, fourth child, for some of us, fifth. Not me. It could be anything, anyone, any relationship, between parents, between family, between friends, between bosses, whatever your situation is, however it resonates with you. It does take courage to sit and go back into what may have caused me to start responding this way. I don't like the way that I talk to my children. Here's an example, right? Not me per se. Although I did have this as a part of my journey before, y'all. There was a part of my journey where I felt like I was always yelling at my kids, and I didn't know why. Because they're the sweetest little angels. They obviously need their mother. They need to learn from me, blah, 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 blah. So why am I snapping on these little babies because they call my name more than once? Because they ask me a question more than a couple of times in a few minute increments, but it's always a different question because their curious souls don't know, so they're asking who they trust, who they feel is wiser than them. Why am I allowing those things to irritate me? That's not right. I don't want that. This is my thoughts. These are my judgments that I've had on myself before. And yes, I had to get to a point where, and I'm still working on that. That's still a huge work in progress for me. Not having judgments on myself as a mother, as a parent, and especially as a mother with mental health disorders. It's a lot. But in observing and sitting, I know, and I've learned that about myself, that is something that I feel I would like to work on. And we can't work on everything all at once, guys. We're not superheroes. I mean, we are to some people, we are a superhero to somebody. But I know we don't always feel like that. So it's okay. It's necessary to do one thing at a time. It's okay to stop for a minute. 10 minutes. If that's all you can do, 10 minutes. That's taking a dump, right? It's pooping. 10 minutes. So even if you have to go hide in the bathroom, or if you need to go take a walk around the neighborhood, I'll be right back. I'm going to go check the mail, walk to the mailbox, and use that time to observe. Observing is also good for when you feel like you're having an anxiety attack, panic attack, when you feel like you're going to lose it, when you feel like, oh my God, I just need to leave this very moment. Observing is good for that, because when you observe, it is all about tuning into your senses. What do I feel? What do I hear? What do I smell? What can I touch? So yes, there is the mental part of observing and just watching what's in your mind, but also the other aspect to observing is to help in a crisis situation. What we feel is a crisis situation, like, oh my God, if I don't leave right now, I don't know what I'm going to do because I feel like I'm about to explode. Those are perfect times to observe. Go sit outside and notice what you notice. Listen to the birds. What do your ears hear? Are there birds? Is the wind blowing? Can you feel it on your skin? If you feel like you're too much into your mind, focus on something outside of your mind, is what I'm trying to get at, basically. It's kind of, a lot of these skills that I've learned in dialectic behavioral therapy tend to tie into each other, and they work together because it's a very simultaneous thing that is going on in your brain. So if you need to use observe to help you to relax and calm down, you can do that. It's a very good way to do that. If you think about it, when you observe, you're also going into a relaxed mode. You want to sit back and get comfortable and be free to explore what you're observing. If you're outside sitting with your coffee or sitting in your car observing, look at all the buttons in your car. Try to do it without judgment. Oh, I need to clean that. Don't do that. You didn't go there for that. You went to observe. Just look at it. If you do see a greasy stain or a fingerprint or a ketchup packet, just look at it. Oh, ketchup. That's an interesting place for that to be. And move it along. Look around at something else in your car. Look at the seats. Look outside the window. Roll the windows down. Feel the breeze. Are you eating something in the car? You drinking your coffee? How does it taste? What do those feelings of that cocoa or the creamer or the sugar, what do those sensations bring to your mouth? Does it make your ears warm? Does it make your heart smile? Does your stomach bubble? Does your insides just feel like you were hugged super nice and long? Like, notice what you notice. Just observe. So there's different ways that you can observe, but you want to make sure that you're doing it mindfully, that you're participating fully in observing. You're just observing. You're not trying to figure out when, why, or where, who. You're just looking at it so that you can know that it's there. Or in the opposite, in a distress tolerance, if you want to use observing to help you get through, you are getting your mind, your attention, and your focus outside of your thoughts. You're jumping off of the train that you have jumped onto. You got on the wrong cart. Or maybe not the wrong cart, but maybe you just been on this train cart for quite some time and you need a break. It's time for a bathroom break, or it's time to stop at a port or what do you call those? A railroad track station. Obviously, I've never ridden a train. But you stop and it's time to get off and walk around. Get your legs moving. Move that stagnation. It's time to move. Try something different because we've been on this train too long. So when you're observing, you're seeing and you're noticing what you notice. You're seeing what you feel. You're tuning into your senses with love and compassion. Practice small. I challenge you as your homework. For you. This is homework for you. You don't have to do it. Nobody likes homework, I know. But when we are putting all of our eggs into one basket, which is ourselves, right? If we're investing this healing and this healthier being into ourselves, then we can learn how to heal ourselves. We learn how to dissect through issues or challenges that may arise, or be able to answer with confidence questions that may come up, or make decisions that we once felt like we weren't capable of making. It's very important to stop and sit and observe. I'm in the stage right now in my journey where I'm observing my life as a whole. I am trying to make sure that I have the relationships in my life that I deserve to have, and that those relationships are true to what they are and not something that I have thought that they were and convinced myself that they were, when in reality that is not what they are. Because when you observe, when you sit down and you get to the point where, okay, now that I've seen all of the things that have crossed my mind, or now that I have stepped outside of right now and just looked back at certain things, or a certain situation, or a certain incident, now let me move to talking about it with myself. How did that make me feel? I do remember when observing that I had sensations in my chest, and my chest started hurting when I thought this thought. Let me break that one down first. Why did I have chest pain? What were my emotions that I felt? Did I have a right to feel those? Yes, you have a right to feel. Everything that you feel, you have a right to feel. I don't want you to ever feel like you don't have a right to feel. I have to condition that out of my mind still as well, because that has been taught to me through my life experiences, that I have allowed those interpretations of other people to determine that for me. And no, we have a right to feel however we feel. So let me make that just clear. I didn't word that right the first time. So you have a right. It's not necessarily do I have a right to feel, did I have a right to feel how I felt? It's more along the lines of is that the emotion that I needed to feel during that time? Have I given the right emotion to this situation? Have I given the right feeling to this situation? Because a lot of times, let me give an example. A lot of times we can say, oh, that made me so mad when he said this, or this woman went up the street and she didn't even stop and blah, 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 whatever the case may be, right? Let me think of a good one. Okay, let me think of a simple one. Observing. Okay, so you're going to Walmart. Here we go. You're going to Walmart, right? And you need to park your car, and you're about to turn into the aisle or into the lane, and out of nowhere, some woman just runs across the street like she didn't see you. And initially, when it first happened, your heart starts racing fast. You slam on your brakes because, number one, you're probably afraid that you could have hurt somebody. That's usually the first thing. But that's quickly gets replaced with, what the crap? What's this person's problem? Didn't they see me? Putting the blame off onto the other person, which also removes any chance at that moment of being empathetic, compassionate, understanding. Because let's think about this. What if the woman that just ran across the street was running inside because she could no longer hold her bladder and she felt like, I have to go to the bathroom right now. So she had to run across the street, and she was so focused on not urinating on herself in public that she wasn't paying attention, or she wasn't focused on her safety when crossing the street. She was focused and concentrated on going to the bathroom. Not to disrespect you, not to cut you off, not to be whatever you wanted to call her out, her name at that time. Not to do that. But that's not our thought. Our thoughts don't go there. We automatically focused on the anger part and how upset someone just made you because they cut you off and she saw me turning and I know you saw me, that was dumb. All these judgments come, all this pain, all of these harsh words, this death spewing out of our mouth. Instead of just taking that deep breath, stopping, taking a deep breath, being grateful that we didn't hit her, right? Being grateful that we were paying attention enough to see her and stop. So, and maybe being grateful that she made it safely across the street, because what if I wasn't paying attention at that time? I didn't see you. You could have been in the hospital. Or just not having a judgment at all. Just observing and watching this person run across the street to this car right before this car's about to turn. And just watching. And then just waiting and then turning when you realized, oh, I was going to hit her, but I didn't. Now I'm about to turn. And just not giving it energy. Life is all about choices, y'all. I tell my kids this all the time. Life is all about choices. There's always this split second right before we make a choice. I've done an episode on this before. There's a split second right before we make a choice where we choose which way we're going to go. So, the more you get used to finding time for yourself and sitting in your own space, you can write the stuff down that you've observed if you want. I know some people like making lists. Lists make me nervous and anxious, and which is weird because they didn't used to. But anyways, I know they're very good for organization. So if you want, you could make a mental note. It's good to be able to just have a lot of these as mental notes. But if you are observing in thoughts, then if you want to write these thoughts down, write them down, but don't give them any attention just yet. Just write them down to track them so that you know what to go back to later. But observing the fact that, oh, that came up. Let me write that down. Next. This is the same thing as it goes in conjunction with when I was talking about how our brain's job is to create thoughts all day long, and some thoughts are worth investigating, and not all thoughts need further investigation. So this is the part where you're observing these thoughts and what is coming up. If nothing's coming up, great. Feel the breeze. Go take a walk and see what you notice. Are there flowers outside? Is the grass green? Is it brown? Is it yellow? Is it snowing? Is it cold? How does it feel? Can you taste the pollution? Try. I know it's going to be hard, but try not to have judgment with it, because once we add judgment, ooh, that stink. Then we get on a whole nother train of thinking, I wonder what that smell is. Somebody needs to, and here come the judgments. So just notice what you notice. Observe. You can learn a lot of things. I think that when the Lord talks about sitting, being steadfast, unmovable, and changing. I think when he talks about the renewing of our mind and transforming our minds, and when he talks about just peace and sitting and watching. He did have a watch, right, too? His disciples. He asked Peter, can you not just watch? When he decided he wanted to take a nap instead. There's a peace and a knowledge and a wisdom that you gain in just observing and watching. Don't form an opinion. Don't focus on delving into the thoughts behind it. Just see what you see. I noticed that this person isn't as loving as I thought they were towards me. Interesting. I noticed that whenever I'm there to support someone else, the support that I need when it's time for me to have the support is nowhere near the kind of support that I give, and I don't know if that's enough for me. Good thought. I'm noticing that this person just got here, and I've been here for 10 years, but all of a sudden they just got promoted, and I've been putting all this work in, waiting for a promotion for 10 years now. Interesting. Just notice. So, observing can be helpful when you're trying to make an important decision in your life, because you're able to gather the facts, you're able to gather the information, you're stepping outside of the emotions attached to it, and you're just paying attention. You're opening your eyes. my dad likes to tell me, you turned your headlights on. You got the lights on and now you can see. You see your picture. You see the way people are treating you. You see that no matter what you're putting in, you're not getting back nearly half of that. You see that you're trying to, not even trying, I need to get that word out of my vocabulary, because if you're making the steps, you're already doing it. You see that you are putting in the work to grow yourself and to be a better you and to let go of past hurts and trauma so that you can grow and move on and be enlightened. But you see that maybe other people around you aren't supporting this healthier you because they like to be able to take advantage of the confused you, the you that didn't take the time to sit and observe and figure out what's really going on here, the you that is calm and collect. They're not used to that. So, find time. Find time this week. You can start off slow, once a week. Take time out of your schedule, somewhere. 10 minutes. Just for you. No phone, no social media, no talking to other people, just you in a safe space, a place where you feel secure and safe, where you could just breathe, tune in to your breath, relax your mind. And just notice what you notice. What do I see? How did that feel? Is that a sensation? Did that make the hairs stand up on my arms? Was that a piercing sound in my ear? Or did it relax me? Just observe. And love and joy. Have compassion during your observations. Know that you are safe every time you observe and every time you go to your space to think. Take a deep breath in right now. Release the old ways of thinking. Know that after listening to this episode that you have opened a possibility to a new way of looking at things. When you're done observing, write down what you need to write down. Jot down what you saw. Take note of what you thought. Take note of how you felt. any sensations or smells. But do it after the 10 minutes, not during. I send back with you love and light, pink light of love and compassion and empathy for yourself during your observation. Without judgment, notice what you notice. Take a deep breath in. And know that you are on a new train of thinking. This train thought is a healthier way, an effective way. It will take practice. Take it easy on yourself if you don't get it the first time. It will feel uncomfortable, but that means you're growing. During my observation, I've learned that growing, in the growing process, there comes a point in our life, in any situation, where we feel like enough is enough. I'm about to quit. I'm about to give up. Forget this. It's too hard. In the middle of our change and our transformation. But let me tell you, I believe that it's right at that point that we're right at the peak of the hill. So if you just push past that discomfort just a little bit more, your answers will be right over that top of the hill. We're right there. Don't run in the discomfort. Just observe and notice what you notice. I hope you all have a good day, a good night, a good morning. God bless you and your souls and your life and your journey. Thank you for being strong. You are courageous. You are growing. You are learning. Be proud of you. I am. Thanks for tuning in to Train Thoughts by Anchor. You can also find this on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Google Podcast. Have a blessed day. Check out my art. www.stingqueenthings.org, where you can buy photographs, photo prints, or you can buy original art canvas pieces that I have painted for your healing journey. Take care of yourselves, and thanks.